Hi, this is Commander Bill. You may have seen me talk about quiz cards I was going to develop this year for the Discovery of Grace Handbook. And I have those complete. They're available on the website. And I wanted to give you a short overview of my mindset going into it and how they work and things of that nature. Like the verse cards, it's on postcard paper so that you can easily, with perforations, you can easily break it apart to get nice clean cards that you can use for the quiz cards of different games that you have. Now you have match cards, games for the match game, and games for the quiz cards. When you print the cards up, like I said, what you see on the back here is just aesthetic, so you know which ones are quiz cards, which ones are match game cards, and it's your choice whether you choose to print the back side or not. You know, I do have it set up so that you can make blanks, so that you can write your own questions or things of that nature. For the match game, you have to match like the verse reference with the verse itself, or the definition with what the word being defined is. And so on the postcard paper, when you put it out, on the left hand side is the word, the right hand side is the matching definition to help you out in case you're not sure which one is which. And then likewise with the verse will be on the left and the matching verse will be on the right hand side. And that's to help you out in the beginning as you match them up. So the match game is very simple. I have 16 cards set up here. It's just like a match game you would think about. You want to find the match. In this case, I have words and definitions put up. You can mix verses with definitions. I would recommend just doing verses and then just doing definitions separate, because it's pretty obvious if a word is not a verse and vice versa. So this way, the clubbers preparing for quiz or just reviewing the section have to know what definition goes with the proper verse. And so if we come up here and we pick a card, we see that it says gospel. And so now we want to try to find the matching pair. And so we'll pick around. Is it expectation? No. So you will put the cards back. Next person goes, picks a card. The good news about Jesus Christ. Well, I think that's the gospel, so I'm picking the gospel. And yes, that's a match. And so you put that on the side and you keep going till all of them are taken. And then of course whoever has the most matches would win the game. But that way they have to know what verse or what word goes with what definition, or which verse goes with the reference. Because so often in quizzing I find that if I ask a question to recite this verse or something, they don't always know the reference that goes with the verse. And so with the match game, that helps solidify that. And so with the quiz cards, first couple cards you have kind of explain how they're made and the different game ideas, which would be like a Jeopardy style. You can assign points to questions. You just get like a Candyland board or something. And for every question they advance one spot or two spots, and then whoever wins, or you just kind of go through and ask questions from the quiz cards. Now this is the whole stack of quiz cards that you have. So you can get a lot of questions from them. Now the quiz cards themselves do not actually have questions written on them. They're not question answer cards. What it has is the information. And so as you draw a card, you can then grab a question from that. Cards have what the Bible is from the handbook, and because it's the first half of the book, you have God is. And so if you look at this card, questions you can get from this is, what does tell me 3 things the handbook says that God is. And they can give you any one of those answers. God is trustworthy, loving, faithful, patient, we're always at work. Any 3 of those would then be a correct answer. You can say, give me the reference that goes with God is faithful. And they will just tell you Deuteronomy 7:9. So you can get a lot of questions from that one card, but I don't actually put questions on the cards. The quiz cards have the overview And then they have each verse with what it's to. So here, Mark 12:30, you know, what is that? What is that? That's God's instruction to love Him. You can say, recite Mark 12:30. You can ask in Mark 12:30, how are we supposed to love the Lord God? And with that would be all your heart, all your soul, and with all your mind and all your strength. Okay? So you can get various questions from that one card. So you have the verses, you have definitions. So this card is disciples. So you can say, what is the handbook definition of disciples? The answer will be followers of Jesus. You can say, what word is defined as followers of Jesus in your handbook? The answer would be disciples. So you can have a couple different questions from that one card. And so you can put the cards back in the bottom of the pile, and when it comes back up, re-ask the question, or keep them on the side, then shuffle them up when you're done. And it does have questions from the Explore section. Not all the content that the quiz guide has, but the main parts that the clubber has to do to complete the section. So here, Romans 8:29, God tells us He works all things for good, so we can be conformed to or made into the image of His Son. So a question could be, according to Romans 8:29, what are we conformed to or made into? And the answer would be the image of His Son. Another question could be, what verse tells us that we are conformed to the image of His Son? So you can come up with questions. If you've been to quiz, you know the basic formats of questions. One reason why I don't put questions on the cards is because for many years I've come up with questions for regional Bible quizzes. And so I don't want people to think that I'm giving people an unfair advantage because I'm giving them the actual questions to quizzes. But if you've been to quiz, it's easy to come up with questions. What does Psalm 86:15 tell you about God? That's a question direct from the handbook that may appear just like that on a quiz. And you've got the answer. Or you can say, what verse tells us that God is full of compassion and gracious? And the answer would be Psalm 86:15. So there are different ways you can use the cards. And you flip through the cards, has the verses, definitions, and the Explore section. And by using the cards, that should help the clubbers prepare for quizzing and also just help them review the handbook potentially. I only have it for the first half of the book. I've considered doing it for the second half just so people can use it as a review, but I have not done that yet. If you're interested, drop me an email off the website. But these cards are available on the website under the Discovery of Grace resources. And I ask for a simple donation for the time to put it together. And I hope this becomes another great resource that you can use to help your clubbers prepare for quizzing or just even review the material. If you have any questions about it, again, drop me an email, message me on Facebook, or whatever. So I'm hoping this becomes a great resource. So thanks for taking the time to watch, and I hope you'll get this to help your clubbers.